What's going on, YouTube? This is Intergalactic Brew, and I know I haven't done a video like this in a while, so I kind of wanted to do it more often. It's called George's Logic because, as you all know, my first name is George, but I go by the YouTube alias Intergalactic Brew because my last name is Kennebrew. So yeah, I just wanted to do a George's Logic video for UFC 136, and for all of you that don't remember, basically what this video pertains to is just basically giving you an in-depth analysis, like really breaking down certain points of the three main fights at UFC 136, you know, that I think either opponent can win by. You know, so for instance, Brian Stain, Chael Sonnen, I'll be breaking down, you know, specific points of those fights to where, you know, each guy can beat the other, and so forth with Florian and Aldo, and of course the main event with Edgar and Maynard. So basically it's just a little, you know, digging a little bit deeper, so to speak, you know, into the matches, and you know, just basically touching on, you know, the strengths and the weaknesses, I should say, of either opponent. So here we go. I'm going to do it a little different this time. I'm going to start with the co-main event of the evening, Jose Aldo versus Kenny Florian. Last night when I did my video, I had said that Kenny Florian, you know, one of the things that he could use in this fight to beat Aldo was the elbows. And I said if he was able to secure multiple takedowns, whenever that may be, and get into the mount position, and if he can start, you know, busting those elbows out quickly, he could possibly, you know, get a stoppage on Aldo, because as we all know, the UFC doctors and the referees are very, very cautious about the fighter's safety, and they don't want any further damage done to the fighter, you know, regardless if he's the champion or the challenger. You know, they're always looking out for the fighter's safety and everything. So I think that, being that Kenny Florian has those you know, machete-like elbows, and you know, if he just touches you, you know, one good time, you know, you're going to be split open like a cucumber or whatever you want to call it. You know, that could really change the fight. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, when Kenny Florian has used his elbows in the past, they have brought him a great deal of success. You know, we saw in the Clay Guida fight, you know, he used the elbows in the fight against Clay Guida, and you know, that kind of slowed Guida down. It kind of made him a little bit more tentative and a little bit more hesitant to you know, to go at Kenny Florian. Another perfect example was his first title fight in the UFC, the welterweight title fight against Sean Shirk. He was able to cut Shirk open pretty bad, and I'm surprised they didn't stop that fight. But you know, it definitely changed the fight, you know, as far as the pace and everything is concerned, and it kind of slowed Shirk down. What's another fight? Let's see. I really can't remember any more fights at this point. But basically, that's going to be one of the ways, one of the main ways that Kenny Florian can win is the elbows. The second will probably be the physical pressure. You know, if Florian comes forward from the start of the fight, which I do expect him to do, he will be able to wear Jose Aldo down, because as we saw in his last fight, you know, Jose had to cut you know, a bucket load of weight for that Mark Hominick fight. And for this fight, he says he's in better condition. He said the weight cut was a breeze, you know, but it'll be interesting to see, you know, if Florian can exploit, you know, the magnitude of that weight cut with his size and his pressure. So I think that'll be another key component for Florian, is to constantly, just force the action on Aldo, because, like I said in my previous video, I don't think we've never seen Aldo really, put in a predicament where he would have to defend himself. He's always been on the offensive instead of the defensive. So if Florian can come out from the start and just basically push, then we could see Jose Aldo in a position we've never really seen him in. And last but not least is the jiu-jitsu. The jiu-jitsu. Well, I won't say the last but not least. There's one more thing I want to mention, but another thing that's going to help Kenny Florian out is his jiu-jitsu. I believe that Kenny Florian is the superior jiu-jitsu grappler than Jose Aldo. I mean, yes, Jose Aldo does have a world championship in jiu-jitsu, but Kenny Florian has won prestigious contests such as Grappler's Quest, and he's won various jiu-jitsu championships, and I think he's a second degree black belt, I think, in jiu-jitsu as well. So when you have that kind of status as just compared to a world champion, I think you have a overwhelming advantage over that opponent. So I think when it comes to grappling, I think I would give Florian just a slight advantage, just because he's competed a lot longer than Aldo has, and I think he's a lot older than Aldo is as well. So that the age difference plays a part along with that accomplishment as well. Now the last thing would be for Kenny Florian is if they start striking with each other, which I know they will, Florian needs to be first. He doesn't need to be too cautious and try to time Jose Aldo. He needs to set the tone on his own with his own striking. I mean, and I also pointed out in my video that he needs to use a lot of leg kicks in this fight, because as we all know, Jose Aldo is very swift. I mean, it's another word for quick if y'all don't know, but he's just got that dart like speed. Like when he starts coming at you, it's just like a whiff of a swift wind that just hits you, and you won't even know it. It's like a little hurricane or whatnot. So if Florian doesn't want to feel the wrath of that, I seriously think he needs to chop this guy down bit by bit, and he can do that with leg kicks. And Florian does have very good leg kicks. We've seen him display them plenty of times in many of his matches. So in order to take that explosive speed away from Aldo, he needs to use those leg kicks. And as far as punches are concerned, I think Florian is the better puncher. I think he's more technical than Jose Aldo is. I mean, Jose Aldo's got a lot of power, but he's not as technical as Florian. And usually when you see Jose Aldo swing, he sort of like wanes his punches. They kind of come from, his arms instead of his elbows. And I think when Florian strikes with punches, you see it's short and it's effective, because it's coming from, the elbow and not the arm. So yeah. So Florian, he's definitely going to have to, be the first to attack, in striking. And like I said, just try to, to back him up against the fence as much as possible, secure takedowns, and try to get mount position and use those elbows and look for submissions. And if he does that, we're gonna have a new featherweight champion, I should say. And it could happen. guys. It really could happen, just because, Kenny Florian is, this is his first big championship shot in another weight class doesn't mean that he's not capable of doing it. He's got a wealth of experience. He's fought for titles before, although he hasn't won them. So this is, nothing foreign to Florian, So just don't overlook him, just keep in mind of his talents and capabilities. Okay, as for Jose Aldo, basically all Aldo needs to do is basically try to be more athletic and be quicker than Florian. That's with his strikes, and if it goes to the mat, scramble as quick as he can and get back to the feet. That's basically what Aldo needs to do. Just retain that explosive athleticism and power that he possesses, with his hands and his feet, and he should be fine. Try to whip those leg kicks at Florian. I don't think Florian has ever really felt anybody with as powerful of leg kicks as Aldo. And once Aldo starts going to town with those kicks, it does have a very painful effect on the opponent. So Aldo will definitely need to use that. I would like to see Aldo move a lot more. I think in a lot of his fights he tends to stay flat-footed and just straight up just go at his opponent. I think being that he has the advantage in the athleticism and in the speed department, I think he'll need to use that to his advantage, and just move around a lot. Make Kenny Florian come to him and close the distance. I don't think we've never seen Florian in a fight where somebody has been more faster than him. So Jose Aldo can definitely use that to his advantage. So yeah, that's really it, for that fight. So Jose Aldo just needs to use the speed and the power and the athleticism, and Florian needs to use intelligence, pressure, jiu-jitsu, and his size. And I'm sure when we see all this, it's gonna create some very dramatic moments in the fight, as does every fight in the UFC. But this one here particularly, I think it's a good styles matchup. I think both guys are very opposite of each other, and I think that's always good for a fight. So that is my George's logic on Kenny Florian and Jose Aldo. Stay tuned, because in just a short, I'm going to be giving my logic on the Chael Sonnen Brian Stann fight. So don't go anywhere, or if you do go somewhere, come on back and we're going to get down to it.